Happy Money Day. I am elegant Soulfood, the consecrated nature baby, here with your Monday money message. We are over here on this channel. We are Root Cause Clan. We are Word Power Clan. We are a Root Cause Clan ministry. We are a Word Power Clan call to action ministry. We look and check ourselves first over here. We stare into our own eyes and affirm ourselves with spiritual truths. So, with that being said, we're going to continue where we've been going the last couple of weeks as we get to abundance and prosperity. We're going to talk about significant blockages to abundance. One of the biggies, integrity. Integrity means wholeness. Who are you when no one is watching? The lack of integrity indicates a fractured soul. Instead of being whole like a cake or a pie, there's a piece missing. Or whole, Hole, there's a crack like an egg or a hole in the bottom of a shoe. There's a hole somewhere. In this case, there's a hole in the soul, and that affects how you move around in the world and who you are when nobody's watching, when you can't fool nobody else and you fool yourself. The other blockage to abundance is having a brittle spirit. Brittle self-worth is a big problem. Brittle means easily breaking and suddenly breaking. So breaking easily and suddenly. People who are runners, if someone says or does something to someone that they can't understand or something they can't adjust to, they fight or run. Their whole life is a constant cycle of fighting and running. They are in the habit of not growing, not investing. Being brittle is a sign of weakness, not strength. Areas of your finance that are blocked by the lack of integrity and brittle self-worth are passive income. Passive income is what you earn without active involvement. In other words, it is income that is not attached to an hourly wage or an annual salary. It's like rental property, limited partnerships, investment properties like commercial real estate or other side hustles. Based on our passive habits, we could be counterproductive. Are our habits counterproductive to our overall well-being and ability to call in abundance? Another biggie, blockage from integrity and brittle self-worth is your net worth. Your net worth is the combination of what you owe, your assets, and your net worth by definition is the combination of what you own, your assets, and what you owe, your liabilities. I challenge you to look up the net worth of people who inspire you to be great. Look up people that do good things for the world and see what their net worth is. Your net worth is connected to your internal value, not what you show others or pretend to be for a job. Net worth is what you actually feel and how, net worth is what you actually feel and know to be true, even if it is false. I'm going to say that again. Your net worth is what you feel and know to be true, even if it is false. You can feel and know something false, and your actions will make it true. I used to say I'm not a morning person. And as I was drawn out of darkness and away from people and into the solitude of nature, I understood that morning meant light bringing. When people say be the light in the world, that comes with morning. Morning is light bringing. So to say that one is not a morning person is to say that person is not bringing light to the world. Their gifts and talents are not bringing the light to others, so their path may be brighter. And that struck a chord in me, and I flipped the script. So now I rise at the witching hour. I hate saying the witching hour. Let's check the energy around what I just shared with you. Start with the energy around what I just said about our integrity and having brittle spirits and being in the habit of not growing. Let's see. Let's check the energy around that. Message. And the energy around this message. Let's check the energy of this message. Struggle with this deck. There we go. We got a good mix now. Now we're ready. All right. Scarcity. Scarcity. Can you see that? Beautiful, beautiful card. Let's check out this goddess. Help me to say her name properly. She reminds me of Oshun. Can you see that there is a young woman and then there's a mature woman standing behind her? Can you see this beautiful artwork? Can you see this beautiful picture? Now, the mature woman is holding a cane. It looks like it's fire. And the young woman has her hands on her hips and almost behind her. And as you can see, the sun and possibly the moon is behind them here. This artwork is so beautiful, but the significance of this young woman and this wise woman behind her. I'm curious to see what this energy is. I love this deck. This is a goddess from Trinidad, and I think you pronounce her name Sequoiant. And this card represents the shadow of scarcity in the Trinidad diaspora. The Temple of Shadows, and this is an air element, which is Gemini. Oh, here we go. This card represents a beauty by day and hag by night. Sequoia is an energy vampire, also known through the diaspora as Ol Higu and Boo Hag. Whether energy or blood, for vampires, there is never enough to go around. How can Sequoia show guidance? You have so much more than you realize. You have access to unlimited joy, love, good time, pleasures, and a prosperity. Be grateful for your riches. Did we just not say this? Your integrity, who you are when no one is watching, having a brittle self-worth, easily broken broken easily and suddenly. And then this energy comes out. Beauty by day, hag by night. That whole thing about the example that I gave about not being a morning person, wrestling with sleep at night, because I had so many energies around me. I had to get away from those people and those things. I had to invest in myself. And that was a solo journey. So let's get back to this card. The embodiment. Stop going to the ocean asking for a thimbleful of water. It doesn't feel like it when you're desperate, but scarcity and lack are an illusion. Prosperity is believing that there is an overflow, more than enough love, happiness, well-being, and money to go around. Vampires take from others because they don't have enough life force for themselves. That is scarcity. Scarcity consciousness. When you embody lack, you are always hungry, tired, and jealous. Make a gratitude list. What are you grateful for right now? This goddess declaration is my blessings always overflow. Man, that is so significant. And I wanted to do something about desperation. And that's going to come next, I hope. I have to get permission to move on these type of things. All right, so we checked the energy. And that was a powerful message there. Co-signing on the whole read. Now, what do we need to know on our journey? What do we need to do on our journey? What do we need to do on our journey? Do on our journey. One thing we're going to do, we're going to list the areas in our life that are sedentary and stagnant and need healing. That's what we're going to do. All right, what do we need to do on this journey? Each evolutionary turn requires you to give up who you think you are. Each evolutionary turn requires you to give up who you think you are. Y'all see me shuffle these cards, right? Y'all heard the message. These are things we must know, we must do. This is why these messages come like they do. And I use the cards as a confirmation for you, not for me, but for you, because I've started sharing messages with you. So I do these confirmations for you. I ask for permission to share things about this journey in regards to abundance and finance. And then I do the cards unrehearsed. I don't rehearse any of this, the messages or anything. So we just talked about who you are when nobody's watching. We just talked about having brittle spirits. And you see the messages that are coming out, what we need to do on the journey. Every evolutionary turn, as you go higher, it requires you to give up who you think you are. At this threshold you have now come to, you must give up what you thought you were so you can move into who you truly are. Each and every turn on the evolutionary spiral requires you to fully step into another level of creation to usher in what's next. What's next? What's next? You won't fail. You won't fail at your next move. A step on the spiral might sometimes feel like a step backward, but there's only one perfect progress on your pathless path as you surrender. Your identity is so deeply rooted in your roles, your car, your place in society, your bank account, your profession, all of it. It's time to shed your skin. Each turn has its own perils and rewards. Both easier and harder every time. Harder to give up what came before, but easier because you know what's coming next. Your next leap into galactic emergence. This is a cosmic catalyst call. What is the deepest identity I'm scared to give up? I dare you. I triple dog dare you. I'm going back to when I was a kid. What is the deepest identity I'm scared to give up? Now, I'm going to do this to myself. I'm going to look in the mirror myself and ask myself that question. I wasn't ready for this reading. I swear, I wasn't ready for this reading. What is the deepest identity I'm scared to give up? This is your cosmic checkbox. Map the highs and lows of the last 3 evolutionary jumps you've ever experienced. Map out your highs and lows. Oh, man. Bear with me for a minute, y'all. I gotta remix this whole movie here. Because this groove is heavy. This groove is heavy. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you can tell. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this message. Thank you for this message. Thank you for the message. Thank you for this energy. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the abundance. Thank you for the guidance. I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be a part 2 to this. It's going to be a part 2 for this. It's going to be a part 2. All right, so we got the energy. We got what we need to know and do on our journey. We're going to do some financial literacy. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this information. Thank you for the journey. Thank you for the messages. What do we need to know? Emergencies. Emergencies. That 10 is significant. This card had a 21, which breaks down to a 3. That's the one with the goddesses. The evolutionary requires you to give up who you think you are, had an 11 on it. And 11 is significant energy. And this one has a 10. If you are into numerology as I am, you may want to look up 3, 11, and 10 and see what it means for you in your own personal situation. Okay, emergencies. Things don't always go as planned. Keep an emergency fund. That's key for periods of financial uncertainty like unemployment, illness, or major home and auto repairs. Aim to hold 3 to 6 months worth of expenses accessible, like in high interest savings account. I don't think those exist anymore. I found some as high as like 1.5% or maybe 2%, but then those were if you were saving for a while. So you have to check around. The market is really crazy right now on a lot of levels. So this says a high interest savings account. Don't rely on stocks. Forced selling in an emergency can mean big losses. Been there, done that. Final tip, use that tax refund to build up your fund. Now, I've said this to people in my financial advisement. I would say if you get a tax refund, if you are not one of the ones that, like myself, we don't file till April 15th. If you are getting a refund, pretend like the money never happened. Save it, put it up. That's the best thing I can tell you. Pretend like it didn't happen. Save it, put it up. If you have to take care of something to get something off of your back, then by all means do it, because you're going to pay that off and then free up your salary to save and to invest and to do other things with besides spend on clothes and cute stuff. Not to say that you shouldn't do those things, but you should never do those things in excess. Okay, I'm done for now. I'll see you in part 2. Oh, as always, there's links at the bottom of this video for financial literacy. And If you started to follow any of them, drop me a comment or a like below if you're comfortable with that. If you reached out to me via email, I have not checked in a while since I'm not seeing anyone for readings or any other spiritual work or weddings or anything like that right now in this season. So let me know below if you sent me an email and I'll check it out. I'll check you out. And two things that I'm adding to the message below is a consumer price index, which you can find on the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And I go there all the time. They have a lot of great information. And wealthsimple.com. So those are two more financial literacy links that I'm adding at the bottom for you. And as always, I will see you next Monday. And I love you. Stay tuned for part 2.